Now we're going to learn the first operator that we're going to use this semester in MATLAB. And we've actually already seen this operator in action in the Introduction to Algorithms video. We actually saw this exact line, n, the equal sign, and then the number 0. So what this does is it actually creates a variable named n, and again in programming a variable is a place that we're going to store a value. Right? So this line creates a variable n and then it stores the value 0 in that variable. So in computer science, this equal sign is actually a really particular operator called the assignment operator. It acts a little bit differently than the way we would expect an equal sign to work in math. So when we have something like this line, n equals 0, we'll refer to the line as an expression in MATLAB, and we'll break down the parts of the expression. The n is a variable. Again, it's a place to store a value. The 0 we'll refer to as a numerical constant. So numerical constant just means that it has a numerical value that will never change. So unlike a variable whose value can change, the value of 0 will always be 0 and the value of 5 will always be 5. So that's just what we mean when we say numerical constant. Again, the equal sign is the assignment operator, and what it does is it assigns the value 0 to the variable n, and the assignment operator is directional. The variable that we're assigning to is always going to be on the left-hand side of the operator, and the value that we want to assign is always going to be on the right-hand side of the operator. In MATLAB, we can actually also use assignment to create a new variable. So when I typed n equals 0 into MATLAB, I didn't already have a variable n. Using the assignment operator created the variable for me. So what it did was it went out and it set aside place in memory to store a value, and it let me say that I'm going to refer to that location in memory with the value n. So it set aside some space to store a value in the variable n. I didn't have to do anything else to let MATLAB know that I wanted a variable and I wanted it named n. I just had to use it and assign it a value. And the value that I wanted to store there is 0. So now that 0 will get put into the memory location that is set aside for my variable n. Again, it's important to remember that assignment is directional. So I'm always going to assign the value on the right-hand side to the variable on the left-hand side. In MATLAB, if I want to see what variables I have, I can look over here on this pane on the side and I can see that I have a variable n and its value is 0. If I now use the assignment operator again to give n a new value, I'll see that it got updated over here. The new value for n is 3, and if I type n, that's what I'll get back. There's no way to get back to that original 0. When I use the assignment operator to give a value to a variable, it overwrites whatever previous value that variable had. In MATLAB, right, I can actually also write an expression to calculate the value of a variable. If I do something like 4 plus 1, what will happen is that the entire expression on the right-hand side of that assignment operator will get evaluated and the final value will be stored back in n. So now the value of n is 5. And that 5 again overwrote the 3 that was previously stored in n. If I ever want to know what variables are available to me, I can type who. It'll tell me that the variable that I have available is n. If I type whos with an s on the end, I'll get a little bit more information about the variables that I have available. And we'll dig into exactly what these different things mean in the coming weeks. If I ever want to get rid of all of the variables that I have, I can type clear. And I can see that now that variable n went away. If I ask for n, I'll see that it's an undefined function or variable. So clear completely wipes out all of the variables that I had. You want to make sure that that's really what you want to do before you use it. Now that we know a little bit about variables and using the assignment operator, we'll move on and we'll learn about the different kinds of variables that we can have in MATLAB.